Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday night, our weekly Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail, that would be me, and friends. And my friend tonight is Bryan Hayward.
That
And
be
there
me.
he is. Before I introduce Bryan, what I would love for you to do is let me know where you're coming from. You can give a little weather report. We've had quite a bit of a storm today out here. Lots of wind, lots of sleet and snow, and kind of crazy. Um, so if you want to do that, I see that we have about 3 people watching right now, and we'll get more. We'll get more here soon. Um, so we had a meeting earlier today, and I want to share a little bit about that. About that meeting. We are looking forward to the group of us that work with Lipedema Simplified. We're looking forward to a wonderful 2024. I guess I should say Happy New Year, although, it's already the 9th. So New Year's over and done. But Happy New Year. We're looking forward to 2024. We are going to be focusing on different modalities to to deal with pain. We have had a lot of people in our community tell us that the most important thing that they try to get help with right now is relieving the pain of lipedema. And so when we take a look at all of the modalities that we know about, we know that nutrition is important to relieve pain. We know compression is important, manual lymph drainage, movement is important. We know that there are a lot of, some people use their vibration plate, some people use a rebounder, some people do water exercises, but that there are a lot of different modalities that we can do to relieve pain. And one of the things that many people in our community use is CBD. And because of that, we like to bring Bryan on because Bryan has a way of explaining why and how CBD works, and then how to find a high quality CBD. So with that, I'd like to introduce Bryan Hayward. Hi, Bryan.
Hi, Gail, and hello, everybody. Glad to be here. And so,
And
go ahead.
I was going to say, Bryan Hayward works with us as a CBD consultant. And I'm always fascinated by his story on how he started using CBD. Bryan, would you like to share that with us?
Sure. Uh, I've had osteoarthritis pretty bad throughout my body since, teenage years. I had the beginning signs of it, and it's been steadily getting worse over my lifetime. And right now, what it shows is this kind of ugly fingers and hands, and it's what happens with osteoarthritis and inflammation, and the brain starts sending help when there isn't any help to be had. And so the inflammation builds up, and that causes pain. So I've been dealing with that for a long, long time. And so I I went to the arthritis doctors at Mass General, where my primary care is, and I believe that I was getting to the best, among the best in the world on any kind of medical problem. And the osteoarthritis people told me that, well, the doctor I went to said that it's as bad as anything he's ever seen. But he said that's the bad news, but the good news is that it probably won't get worse. And that was a number of years ago, and it's definitely gotten worse. And so the thing that was happening is the only way that I was relieving pain was to use an ibuprofen, Tylenol, any other kind of over-the-counter type medications that supposed to help with pain. And I found that if I took 1,200 milligrams of Tylenol and then alternated that with 1,200 milligrams of ibuprofen several times a day, then I had quite a bit less pain. And the doctor told me that you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. He said, what's going to happen is that you'll get some pain relief for a while, but you will destroy your stomach with the NSAIDs, and you'll destroy your liver with the Tylenol. And he said, you just can't do that. And I said, so what do I do with this pain? And he said, well, like I said, it probably won't get worse. And that's kind of all I've got. And over the years, I periodically I send a little note in to just say, hey, is there anything new on this osteoarthritis thing? And the answer is always no. So I was kind of left to my own. And what happened is my daughter, who's a midwife, she had a nurse friend who encouraged her to tell me about CBD, and she recommended a company because she felt they had really high quality CBD. I tried out a salve at first, rubbed it on my hands, and within a few minutes, the pain was dramatically down. And I was really surprised at that. And I also started using a tincture, which was a dropper of CBD under my tongue and let it go in through the saliva glands. And that also helped a lot. And so by doing these things every day, I got quite a bit better and had quite a significant reduction in pain. And so I met Catherine Seo, the founder of this organization, the Lipedema Simplified organization, in an entrepreneurs group. And she was talking about the ladies with lipedema and the pain that they had. And then as I listened more, I was hearing that a lot of the pain is related to inflammation. And so knowing my experience with reducing inflammation reduces pain, I talked to her about the CBD, and she was already familiar with it, had already used it, and it already helped her a lot. And so she was quite happy to talk with me about it. And the thing that I really care about is that I couldn't find anybody who could explain to me how CBD worked or what was quality CBD. Nobody particularly wanted to tell me how much to pay for it. It was really confusing. And I have an engineering background, and so I wanted to get more information about this. So I spent the last few years studying white papers, peer-reviewed white papers, all kinds of information from uh, the medical community on the results of CBD testing and research, which you don't really find on the internet, or it's very, very hard to find it. But anyway, so I've learned a lot about CBD. So I don't know whether I got some other things to talk about, Gail. Did that pop anything into your head that you wanted to ask me about, or do you?
Well, yeah. So, so you said that Catherine already knew that CBD was helpful because she had already used it and it helped her tremendously. And it's helped you tremendously. And I know that sometimes people say, but what do we have to show us that it will help with lipedema? And I always think, oh, we need to get a good old lipedema and CBD study going. The thing that we find with lipedema so often is there aren't as many studies out there as we want, right?
Right,
Although we do know inflammation's involved, we
right,
know that that there's pain involved, and we are starting to collect information, albeit anecdotal, from our community members
mm,
who use CBD. And so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Bryan has a couple of slides to share. And
yep,
I think we have a question. It says, please define CBD. And I believe that will be defined on your slides, your,
that's next.
your slide, correct? So that's next. So here, let me take Bryan's info off there and let me pop up the slide.
All right. All right, CBD for pain reduction. For some reason, that didn't come out very well, but let's see how this looks. Oops.
Here, hold on. I'm sorry, Bryan. Take your fingers off there.
Oh, all right. Now, I'll not touch it anymore, and I'll just let you know to change it. Is that it?
That's
No.
fine.
All right.
Either
So,
way.
one of the main things that people wonder about with CBD is, will it get you high? And the answer to the question is no, but there's good reason for it, good scientific reason for it. The plant cannabis is the plant that is the parent of both marijuana, THC, psychoactive experience that people have with marijuana, and it's also the parent of a different breed of the plant where they breed the plant to have a minimum amount of THC. Marijuana has 40% or so of THC in it. It varies all over the place, but 40% of 40% THC for marijuana, less than 0.3% THC is in hemp, which is the the plant that is grown from cannabis that is bred this way, and this is what produces the CBD product. And CBD is non-psychoactive. You could drink the whole bottle of the CBD and it won't get you high. And so that's because there's very little THC in a CBD product, and THC is the psychoactive chemical that is in marijuana. So if you take all of that out, you end up with a product that's not psychoactive. So that's slide 1. Going to slide 2. Okay, so I don't know if everybody can see this real well, but hopefully you've got it big enough on your screen. There are ways to tell whether you've got a good quality CBD product. And generally, there's 4 quality checks that I use. I can go into a drugstore or a Ready Mart or whatever and look at the CBD products there. And generally, they present a very nice, powerful message on why the product in the container is really going to help. And Julie Stewart just sent in a little thing saying hello, and we just had a tornado warning. So still lots of storms around. Okay, Julie, we'll pray for you. Anyways, so what I look for on the label, you can look at the label of any CBD product, and I wouldn't read a lot of the garbly goop. I would look for these things. It should say full spectrum CBD, those 3 words in that order all together, so that you know that they're saying on the label that it has full spectrum CBD in the product. And full spectrum CBD is when they grow the hemp plant and they squeeze the good products out of the flower. That's full spectrum, the whole flower compounds, and there's hundreds, up to close to 1,000 different compounds in the product that comes from hemp. And one of the products that's in there is CBD. Full spectrum CBD means that you've got the full spectrum of all the compounds in the plant, and it's the main ingredient is CBD, but it has hundreds of other compounds in there that are really helpful and very healthful. The second thing I would want to look for on the label is that it says organic, and preferably either USDA certified or some notification on the label that it's regulated by a particular state, so that you know that it's either federally or state regulated as far as organic goes. The third thing, which for me is about the most important thing to look for, is the single source. What farm did the product come from that I'm about to buy? All of these products are made as a result of a farmed hemp product. And if you know the farm that it comes from, then you know an awful lot about the quality of the product. If it doesn't tell you what farm it comes from, that's because the manufacturer doesn't want to be held to a particular quality product by a particular farmer. What they want to do is to be able to buy hemp open market. And open market hemp means from all over the world, where there's frequently very little regulation on the hemp, and they buy the hemp in large quantities at the lowest possible price available in the world market, and you're not going to end up with quality with that. But when you know what farm it came from, and that's on the label, the manufacturer is liable to have only full spectrum organic CBD from this particular farm. If you've got those things on the label, and you know the label shows the URL, the web address where there's independent lab test results on the quality, If you have those four things on the label, you likely have a good product. So whether it's Mayan or the farm where I get Mayan, my CBD from, or any other local grown farm with these pieces of information on it, you've probably got a good quality product. On the label, it also ought to tell you how many milligrams of CBD are in the container and how many milligrams of CBD should you take per dose. Universally, the dosage for CBD is per dose, it's 15 to 30 milligrams is a normal dose. It should say that on the label, and it should say on the label how you can get 15 to 30 milligrams of the product. And the reason
So
why
Bryan,
go ahead.
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
No,
didn't mean to
the
interrupt
reason
you.
why it's really important to know how many milligrams of CBD are in the container is because the whole industry sells CBD products based on the milligrams of CBD in the container. So if you have 1,000 milligrams of not just 1,000 milligrams of CBD, but 1,000 milligrams of full spectrum CBD in a container, then what that is, if you look over here, everybody sells CBD at a cost of 5 to 10 cents for every milligram of CBD. And what that equates to is that if you've got a container that has 1,000 milligrams of CBD in it, then you should be paying $50 to $100 for that. If it's 500 milligrams, you should be paying 25 to 50. If it's 300 milligrams, it's 15 to 30. If you've got a cell phone, you can take a picture of this slide if you want, and then you can carry that around with you and look at different labels and try to get a feeling yourself for what is a quality product and what isn't, and how much you should be paying for it. You really don't want to pay a lot more than $100 for 1,000 milligrams, and you don't want to pay a lot less than $50 for 1,000 milligrams. Either way, you're probably either not getting the truth or you're not getting a quality product. So these kind of things will help to keep you relatively safe when you buy CBD wherever you buy it. So that's it for my slides.
Oh, sorry. I hit the next slide. Um, so I have a question for you then, Bryan. You said that it's important to know the farm. Now, let's say I know what farm is growing it. Now what do I do? Can I can I call them? Can
I
I call or text the farmer?
Absolutely, you can. You want to do that. I did that when I first started looking, and so one of the farms that I work with is in Brattleboro, Vermont. It's called Bordertown Farms, and I called the farmers there, and then I made arrangements to go and visit them, and I had them give me a tour of the farm and explain how they produced the product, and I learned all about the regulations that the state of Vermont has for producing organic hemp. And so I was able to tell exactly what these people were doing. And these are farmers. They're not manufacturers. They're not big corporations. These are farmers. They come from farmer families and they believe in the quality and they have pride in their product. And so this is the way, for me, I think that people will know. If you buy a full spectrum CBD product from a farm in Vermont that has the information on the label that I said, then you know that Vermont has very tight controls on how to produce quality hemp organically.
Hmm.
The state of Massachusetts is the same thing. I have a Western Massachusetts hemp farm that I work with. I know the farmers, been to the farm, all that. And these people are just regular people who produce a farm product, and they're going to make a reasonable living, but they're not going to make a fortune doing this. And that's really
Right.
important, I think, is to
Yeah.
buy local. It's like buying any from any local farm organization, any local food. You should buy CBD local.
So so you buy your products from them, and but you have a website that you
Right?
offer these products through,
Right.
right? Can I pull that up real quick?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Bryan has, I know I've gone through your slides. So Brian has a website, and as you
Hmm.
can see, his business is called naturalwellnessboston.com. I will put that in
Yeah. So
the
they can get,
chat.
yeah, this is the landing page. If you go to naturalwellnessboston.com, this is what the page looks like, except that sometimes, just depending on your screen size, the last product on the right may be down the bottom. But these are the 5 products that I deal with from 2 different farms. And the yellow and green is from a Western Mass farm, and they produce a lotion and a capsule, uh, and that they're both high quality products. And then the purple and black products are from Bordertown Farm that I mentioned. And the first one on the left there is a salve that is 1,000 milligrams of CBD in it, and it's full spectrum CBD. Says that right there, right below the 1,000 milligrams, and that's a really really good product that most of the women in the lipedema community have tried. They've tried the lotion also. The lotion's a little less expensive, not quite as strong as the liniment, the 1,000 milligram one, but they're both really good products. The capsules are essentially the same thing with the 2 different companies. Um, the Western Mass one again has a little bit less CBD in it, but it's pretty hard to tell the difference between the capsules from the Western Mass one, the one in the center there, that they have 25 milligrams in each capsule, and the ones on the far right from Bordertown have 30 milligrams in each capsule. So they're pretty close to the same strength and quality. The the one on the right is a little more expensive, and then the the bottle there is a tincture, and the tinctures, instead of like a capsule, you'll put it in your mouth and drink it with water. The tinctures, you just take the dropper and you measure out, like generally zero point 0.5 milliliters on the dropper is measured, and then just drop it under your tongue and hold it there for 30 seconds or so, and it gets into your bloodstream. So those are the options, and it's really two. You really only want to make a decision on a couple of things. You want to get a salve or a lotion. So one of these 2 products, uh, on the left hand side of your screen, you'd want to buy one of those. And then you'd also, on the right side here, there's 3 products there. There's a capsule from Western Mass, there's a tincture from Bordertown, and there's a capsule from Brattleboro, Vermont, from Bordertown. So any one, just buy one of these things. You don't buy all 3, because you're going to take either a capsule or a tincture, or a different capsule. So you want to take a capsule once in the morning and once at night to start, to see if it'll work for you. You'll know within 2 weeks whether CBD is going to work. And you can, the salve, you want to put that salve on as soon as you get it home. Put it on your, wherever it is that you have pain, whether it's arthritis pain or on your legs and your thighs and your ankles, wherever you have pain from the lipedema. If you rub the salve on that, it'll reduce the inflammation right where you're rubbing the salve, and generally the pain is reduced significantly. So that's what most of the ladies do with the CBD.
Yeah.
So if you want my phone number, Gail puts my phone number up there. And I realize the first time you hear about this, it might be kind of confusing. I am perfectly happy to get a phone call or a text and just say, hey, I want to look at these products. Will you go online with me? And I'll have you call me, and we'll go online together, and I'll show you the products and let you see what it is that might work for you. And I'll also uh, ask you plenty of questions about your own condition so that you can get feedback from me on what kinds of things I think that you'll need to do. So,
Yeah, and I was going to say, Brian is extremely helpful with that. He will check up on you, make sure you're doing okay before or after. He'll follow up with you with his email, or send you a text, or give you a phone call. One of the things that we have discovered is that when you get your sometimes you can get your tincture and you're not quite sure how much to put under your tongue. You don't use the whole bottle. You don't use the whole dropper like I did. So I was like, I had no idea. I had never used a tincture before, so I have actually gone to the gel caps, and I like the Border Town Farm ones. But both of the salves work beautifully, and I have a friend who I bought the Western Mass salve or lotion for because she is allergic to lavender. And there's lavender in the Border Town farms. And so she's able to use the Western Mass. So sometimes you might want to look at the
Mhm.
ingredients and say, oh, I can use this one and not that one.
Yeah.
Now, Bryan, we do have a question from Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa says, does CBD affect memory like THC is supposed to? I'm always concerned about long-term effects. Both my mom and grandmother had dementia. I have had arthritis and chronic pain too.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be happy to comment that the memory effect from THC. Just I'm not a medical doctor, so everything I say is kind of like from my experience and the things I read. I read a lot of research papers, but generally, people have memory problems from excessive use of THC over a period of time, a long period of time. If you're using a lot of marijuana, if you take a lot of that in, I mean, that's how the young world or the I don't know what world you would call it, that they are used to the idea of getting an enjoyable experience from utilizing THC, and those who overdo it can have memory problems. CBD, everything that I've read on CBD is, for one thing, people don't overdose CBD, and it's actually there are so many health benefits, including clearing memory from CBD. There are all these compounds like terpenes that are in this full spectrum CBD, and a number of them are related to clearly helping the mind clear up. And some of the Japanese call one of the the compounds that are in the CBD product is called pinene. It's a terpene called pinene, and it smells like pine. And they call it forest bathing. When they go in a forest with pine trees, they believe that they're bathing their mind and clarifying, clearing up. And there's a whole bunch of other compounds in CBD, full spectrum CBD, that are good for your mind. So I wouldn't be worried at all about anything. Like, I've never heard anything about CBD causing any kind of memory problems. And so,
Now, and
yeah.
I was going to say, it has helped calm anxiety for some. Others find that it helps them lift through depression and get a clarity of thought. But I find for me that I can feel on certain days I just feel inflamed, and that's when I take my extra dose of CBD, and so it does reduce inflammation. And I also find for me that it calms my restless legs, and it helps with the pain in my feet mostly. Now I do know that there are some, and also um, the arthritis in my hands. I use the salve on my feet and my hands, and when when I was dealing with a lot of pain earlier this year, I would actually rub it into my thighs as well
Mm.
because it really helped with my thighs. So, and I was a skeptic. I won't be shy about that.
Yeah.
I was I I thought Bryan was a snake oil
Oh,
salesman.
come on.
I did. I won't be shy about saying that, Bryan. I was a skeptic 100%. I think, oh, I want to try it. No, I don't. I'm not gonna waste my money on this. Oh, I want to try it. I no, I don't. I don't want to waste my money on it. I went back and forth and back and forth. And finally one day it was like, okay, Gail, you're gonna get some of this. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And I'm still one of your customers. And not only that is when my husband had open heart surgery, he had to stop taking all supplements and he had to stop, so he had to really cut back on everything. And now that he's back down to um, minimal medications, the CBD is in his pill pack. That he's taken CBD again. So I'm really grateful that he's been able to do that because it helps. I just think it helps in his general health, helps him sleep, and it helps reduce all the inflammation. So I'm really grateful for that. Now, Bryan, with that said, because I'm talking about medications, if I'm on certain medications, I can't just willy-nilly take CBD, can I?
I wouldn't take any supplement that my doctor doesn't know that I'm taking, because all kinds of supplements can have various effects on the way medications process through your system. So it's always important to let a doctor know that, hey, I'm planning to take CBD, and the doctor may or may not think there's any value in that because there's so much baloney that goes around about CBD, but they generally will let you know if there's any problem with medication that would preclude you from using CBD. And that's what we really want to know is will the CBD affect the medication that I'm taking? And generally what the CBD will do is that it'll change the level of of a particular medication either up or down a little bit compared to the way it was without CBD. And so your doctor will know that because it's all very well known medically. So they may want to check your blood levels to see if one of the compounds that you're taking for other problems is going to be affected by that. But generally that's it. And there are some things, some diseases that people have that the doctors say, gee, you really don't want to take any CBD with that because you just don't want to mess with certain kinds of things. So I'd never take any one of these compounds without checking with my doctor.
Right. And we have had some members of our community say that they have to tell their, like if they're on warfarin or whatever, they have to tell their pharmacist that every time they open a new bottle of tincture or something like that, so that the pharmacist is aware that, or their nurse pharmacist who regulates their warfarin, things like that. So we really do need to be careful. And you're right. Every single supplement that we take, we don't know how one supplement is going to affect the medication that we're on. So we always have to be careful. We always have to check in with our doctor. So let's see if we have any other questions. If you have anything else you want to ask Bryan about, let's see. Sandra says something about Kentucky Hemp Works might be a place to look up. So that's a place that if you're, if you want a local farm and you're down in Kentucky, that might be a place to go. Bryan ships, I wouldn't say all over the world. I know of a couple places that he can't ship into, namely Canada.
Yeah,
that I put off the top of my
Canada
head.
is really strict about anything that goes into the body, into a human body in their country. And so they're very strict about I would not ship CBD into Canada just because they'd probably come and shoot me or something. So
They wouldn't shoot you. They'd just shut you down.
Really don't
I love my Canadians. But I know that, like when I went into Canada, they asked this summer, they asked me if we had any cannabis products. And it was a no. But however, coming from Canada to the United States, they didn't ask me, right? But I could find CBD on every CBD and THC on every corner there in Vancouver. So it's all very, it's very available up there.
Mm.
So, then another question I had is when if a person orders from you,
Mm-hmm.
um, if it's in the United States, is your shipping free?
Yep. It's anything that you purchase from me, yeah, that ships in the United States, it's free. And anywhere outside of the US, I just charge a flat $21 for that because it ranges around that kind of cost no matter where I ship it.
Right. And also, if they're going to get something from you and they become a regular customer, like a subscribed, you
Mhm.
have a subscription program as well, correct?
Yes, I do. And it's a 15% discount if people get on the subscription program. And all the subscription program is that once a month, you'll get an email from me saying we're planning to ship this product in 7, 10 days from now. And if you want to change that or not get it or cancel your subscription, just reply to the email and let me know and I'll do it. And I regularly change products and the amount, like if you've still got quite a bit left over and you don't really need another shipment, then you don't need to get it. Just let me know and you just skip a month. And so,
Yeah.
but the discount is a really good way of doing it.
Yeah. I like having my 15% discount for being a
Mm,
subscriber. Sometimes I have to tell you, okay, hold off, Brian. Don't send me another one. I still got some left.
yep,
I'm good. So,
yep.
anyway, is there anything else that you can think about that our community, can you share some of the stories you've had? Um,
Sure. Uh,
so let me think.
well,
Hmm.
one of the ladies I just talked to the other day, it was, yeah, a couple of days ago. I just hadn't talked to her in a while, so I wanted to see how she was doing. And that she said that before she was started taking CBD, uh, her doctor told her that she was headed towards a wheelchair because it was so painful and she was having such great difficulty walking and it was getting to be unsafe for her. And I've heard that many times from ladies in the community who they end up either being in a wheelchair or just simply not leaving the house very often because it's so difficult. Oh, sorry. It's
Is that
so,
you? Okay.
yeah, it was so difficult to get around and so painful that people just end up not leaving the house for, months at a time. And a number of the ladies that I've talked to were in situations like that where they were just simply close to uh, bed bound and they're out going to the store, shopping, taking walks. And it's not easy. And a lot of people still have to use a cane or whatever, depending on how much damage the lipedema has done. But most of the women that I talk to, once they start trying the CBD, it does reduce the pain significantly, and it does give them the opportunity to be more mobile and to actually get in a car and drive a car and go to the grocery store and do some of the things that they used to be able to do before the lipedema got really serious. So yeah, a lot of so this lady I was talking to said that since she started taking the CBD, she does walk with a cane, but she says she can walk quite well with very little pain now. She can't walk a lot, but she's able to get around, and she's done some other things for pain reduction in her lower part of her legs. She had some kind of a lymph drainage process that she used. I think there was something to do with an operation, but I'm not sure how she got it drained. But anyways, there's massage therapy, certified lymphatic massage therapists out there that they can really help reduce pain. And this lady said that her lower legs are smaller now than they used to be, and she has a lot less pain in her lower legs. But her upper legs, she was been unable to reduce the size of those, the swelling in those, and they're still pretty painful unless she uses the CBD. And so a lot of people like that. So many people that have been feeling like they were afraid to go outside because they couldn't get back in because they couldn't get up the steps. I've heard
Yeah.
that often, and that for a lot of the women who use the CBD and some of the other modalities that you were talking about, the lymphatic massage, proper diet. It's not like so much to lose weight as much as taking in a low carbohydrate diet reduces inflammation and therefore reduces pain. So all these things work together, and there's a lot of people in the Lipedema Simplified community that have a lot of experience with all of these modalities to reduce pain. CBD is just one method, but it's pretty exciting that this thing that actually helped me a lot does actually have a dramatic effect for an awful lot of people with lipedema. So worth trying.
Right. Right. And it's not, the thing that I like about CBD is it doesn't just relieve the lipedema pain, right? I mean, I got arthritis in my hands and feet, and it helps with that. Restless legs helps with that. I sleep better when I take it, in the evening, and all of those things. And so it's just not, we're not just lipedema. I mean, we are not lipedema. We have a lot of different things, and it has really improved the quality of my life. And I appreciate you, Bryan. I really do. So, if here's Bryan's phone number. If you haven't written it down, I have put it in the chat as well. And his company is Natural Wellness Boston. That doesn't show up as well as I wanted it to. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let me see if I got it. I know, right? It's been a while. Is it right here? Oh, there it is. So it's Natural Wellness Boston, all one word.com. And you can go in, dig around in there. You can give Bryan a call. You can give Bryan a text. And he's always willing to respond to you. He is on the East Coast. He's in Boston area. So take that into consideration if you're going to give him a call. Because like right now it's, almost 8 o'clock his time. And so, just be aware of that he's back in Boston, and respect that. But other than that, Bryan's always there. And he's always there for me. He's always there for the lipedema community. And we're so grateful that you're working with us, Bryan. Thank you so much. And with that said, Bryan, at the end of all of my broadcasts, I have you share something that you'd like to see echoed around the world, that you would like our community to know.
Well, I think for the lipedema community, what I've heard so often is that women feel like it's their fault that they have this condition, and they've been told that most of their life and frequently by the medical community that, you're not telling the truth. You can't actually look like this and not be overeating, so you must be lying to me about it and that. And the big thing that I really liked hearing early on was that it's not your fault, that you did not cause this. This is a disease that makes life really difficult. And that's the big thing for me, is it's not your fault.
Yeah, yeah. And I hear you say that so often to our women. And I remember one time when I heard somebody say that when I was listening to a book, and I was driving down the road. I pulled over into the bingo parking lot, the bingo hall parking lot, and I backed that book up and I listened to it again, and I just sat there and sobbed when somebody had actually spoken to me in a book and said, "This isn't your fault," because I had spent my whole life, feeling like it was my fault. So I really appreciate your message tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. Not only is it not our fault that this happened, but there's no blame. There's There's no place to put blame. All we can do is place hope, right? And give each other hope. You are not alone. I am here for you. We are here for you. And you're here for us. And together, we're going to get through this. So thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you, Bryan, for being here with us.
Thanks a lot.